What's up, game players? Ha 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 ha! This is someone brand new on the microphone. My name is Joseph Cuddleful. That's right, Joseph Cuddleful. And I guess you could say I'm taking the place of that guy that you know is Keon Mitchell. That guy is no longer here. Okay? Now, we're gonna do a couple things a little differently. Alright? We're gonna get into the news, and then we're gonna get into some sports. Then we're going to get into some, some NASCAR racing. Yeah, because I'm a big NASCAR fan. My man. Yeah, it's what I do. So you guys get ready to sit back and, you just relax yourself. Okay? You get ready to relax. We're going to put this thing on wax and we're going to take it back, buddy. Yeah. So the gaming news is going to be about 5 minutes this week, and then we're going to get into sports. That's what we're going to do. You guys stay tuned for that.
Hey, I'm just joking. That was me the whole time, y'all. What's going on, guys? I want to welcome you guys to the Analog Circle Podcast, episode number 54. I am your host, Keon Mitchell, and truly want to welcome you guys. I know y'all said, what the heck was that, Keon? Listen, brother, listen. Okay, I just had to do something different. I don't even know why I did it, but I just wanted to, man, I've been checking out these auto-tunes, man. It's very interesting to see what you can do with this thing. You know, you can make all kinds of moves and make things happen, voice alterations and all kind of stuff. I'm like, oh man, this is pretty doggone dope. I'm enjoying this. But nah, man, we're back. We're gonna be covering the news. You know how we do. Every single week, we're going to get into it. Got a lot of Microsoft news. Not a whole lot, but we got a little bit of news from everybody this week. That's right. So if you want to, let me go ahead and make these plugs. That's so shameful, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you guys want to check out some previously recorded podcasts from the Analog Circle, you can go over and find the sounds over on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Audio Mac, iTunes, iHeartRadio, even Google Play. The doggone, podcast is starting to expand, brother. And even if you can't catch it on those waves, you can go over to what's the place? YouTube, and listen to the audio version over there as well as look at some videos I put up, just having fun and all of that good stuff. Need to update a couple things. Mass Effect Andromeda's up there right now, and I've been having a good time. So won't you guys go out there and subscribe, and please support. I love it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, don't make me no difference, brother. But also over on Twitch, I'm over there. You can find me at John Doe 1579. That's JONDOE 1579. Over there with some videos as well. I'm in the process, man, of trying to get some better equipment. Well, get equipment, and I try to get an Elgato. This new Elgato that's coming out, this touch screen. I mean, it looks really dope. It's $150, but I need a new CPU to do it. So as soon as I get up the money, I'm going to really try to dive really waist deep into the streaming and all of that good stuff. But for now, I'm dealing on a budget, brother. Oh, yes, I got tape. I got duct tape and glue right now for the streaming, but it's all good, brother. But man, oh man, also, if any of you listeners out there want to get in contact with the show and leave your opinion, leave me a voicemail or leave me an email. If you want to leave a voicemail for me, which I will definitely play it on the show because I appreciate all of you guys taking the time out, you can reach the show at 443-261-4607. Or if you want to type it up, brother, and just type and, do your thing that way, you can do that and reach the show at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Woo! Brother, sister, whoever's listening, I appreciate it. Little young kid that just got out of school or is going to school, thanks for taking the time. Man, I just want to talk about something to you guys real quick. Basically what I've been into this week, y'all know what happened last week. Mass Effect Andromeda came out. Now, I understood that before the game officially came out, people were saying, oh, the game is horrible. oh, the animation is bad. It's real clunky and, it's just broken and it's just horrible. The facial animations, I can't stand it. It's the worst ever. This Mass Effect is a letdown, and I can't believe BioWare has stooped so low. Let me tell y'all something, brother. Okay? All right. Let me tell y'all something, game players. I've played Mass Effect Andromeda. Keep in mind, I want to let you guys know I've played it for about 5 hours. 4.5, 5 hours, somewhere around there now. So yeah, I'm not really waist deep yet. I will definitely admit that these are just first impressions, okay? What I feel about Mass Effect Andromeda is this. It's a darn good game. I have been enjoying it. I have not seen any of these animations that people have reported on that said that it was broken and that it looked real, mechanical or robotic, or, the walking was off, or the facial animations looked bad where it was a sagging, a jawbone or something like that, where the eye looked real lazy and it didn't look realistic. I mean, hey. I don't know if the patch kicked in, because we all knew it was going to be a day one patch to fix some things. I know they said that they weren't going to be fixing animation or anything like that, but I'm going to tell y'all, graphically, in my opinion, I don't know what game players want or what they were expecting, but to me, the game looks just fine. It looks good. It looks just fine. Okay? I have no problem with the graphics. It's cool. It's a good graphical looking game. Graphics are just fine. Outside of the graphics, gameplay is always king, brother. You can have the dopest game, but if you don't have the gameplay, who's gonna really play it? So far, the gameplay I've really enjoyed. I love the jetpack. I love the way that you can traverse, jump up on, higher ledges, or, reach higher ground with it and kind of dash over. Like if you're jumping over a pit, you can actually hit the, the B button, and he'll dash over across it. I like it, man. The traversal is just fine. There's no problems there. Now, if you talk about combat for me, okay, personally, this is not a deal breaker. This is not something that should make you not want to get the game. It's not that bad, all right? But the combat to me does feel a little stiff. It doesn't feel very loose, like a Gears of War. It feels loose, when you're ducking under, for cover, or, you're trying to shoot and then you're trying to reload. It feels very, cardboard cutout, just stiffness. I'll say that. But overall, it's not anything that's going to break the game. It's going to hurt the experience. I think people are going way too far left with that one. I think it's just fine. I did not think it was that big of a deal, even though other people are like, oh no, it's just the worst. It is not the worst Mass Effect. I don't know what people are talking about, but I'm telling you, as a game player, as a guy who's been down with the Mass Effect franchise since the very, very first one, I've had no complaints with this game. As far as the dialogue goes, the actual spoken dialogue, brother, that might leave a little to be desired. I'm not even going to lie to you and tell you that it's a stellar performance from A to Z with everybody. It's not stellar, but it's doable. Not bad, it's doable. It's okay. I mean, some spots you would think it'd be a little more emotion, a little more, passion being spoken, we're being blown up. And then somebody's like, oh, no. You would think that a person would, be a little more in danger of their life. Like, oh, shoot, are you serious? No, just get out of here. No, it's, it drops the ball in certain areas, but it's not something, to me personally, that's going to just trash the whole game. All right, so what's the last thing left that I need to talk about this game? The story. Yeah, man, the story so far for me, and I can only speak for me, this is my opinion. Everybody has an opinion. A lot of people might not agree with what I've said thus far. But the story for me, man, it's been engaging. it's been very, very interesting. I mean, exploring these worlds and stuff, it's been cool. I mean, I've only explored one so far because I'm still in the beginning. I think I just got to another world, or it would be considered the Citadel. You know, I'm over there talking to people trying to get it in. These are no spoilers, people, none at all. But the story is just fine, man. And what people have to understand, see, people are being, to me, my personal opinion, they're being a little unfair. People are saying, I don't feel these characters. I don't like these characters. I can't bond with these characters. I'm like, dude, first off, it's a brand new set. This is a whole new crew that you're dealing with. Okay, this is not Shepard and his crew anymore with Garrison and all of them. They're not here. Miranda, she's not here, brother. Okay? You got a whole new set of crew members that you have to get acclimated with. The new main character is brand new. Okay? You gotta give it some time. Alright? We didn't make those relationships or feel the way that we felt about those characters in 3 and 4 hours. I mean, come on. You know, and it's an RPG. RPGs take a while to get vamped up. Now, I understand people will say, well, wait a minute, Keon. I don't think that's fair to say, because if you can't pull me in the first 10, 15 minutes, then why is your game worth playing? Hey, look, brother, I get it. Okay? Maybe you don't have that kind of time. All right? But if it's an RPG, you know that with RPG, brother, you gotta spend time in the world, in the universe. You gotta get around. The story grows as the game moves on. And I know that one of the producers or one of the developers said that you gotta play 10 hours, god darn, before the game gets good. I don't agree with that at all. I'm not a fan of that. If you can't grip somebody, god dag, man, let's just say, man, let's give it an hour. Okay, hour and a half. You know, if you can't do it by then to me, it's a flaw there. Not everybody is going to slough through your game until it gets good. So I don't agree with him saying that it's going to take 10 hours for some people to get the enjoyment that they want out of the game. That's not fair. Not at all. I mean, by any stretch of the imagination. But for me personally, the game has drawn me in just fine. I have no problems with it. I think it's worth buying. You know, I went to Best Buy, picked it up, got it for $50, brand new, in the wrapper. I'm telling you guys, you don't have to go to GameStop and pay the full $62 and change for the game. Go to Best Buy, get the daggone rewards card, the Gamers Unlock rewards card. Save yourself some money. Pay $30. You get 3 years and you get 20% off of any game in the store, whether it's new or used. And if you even trading in a game, you get extra 20% added on to your purchase. Now, I want you guys to know, I want you all to know, Best Buy does not pay me to say this. They are not a person who is, sponsoring the podcast. I have no sponsors, and I kind of like it that way, at least for right now. If somebody said, hey, we want you to do this and that, if I believe in it, then I would do it. But in no way, shape, or form is Best Buy a sponsor of the Analog Circle podcast. I only talk about that because I think that they have the best deal out there right now. If you're collecting games, if you love buying games on day 1 or even day 50, it doesn't matter. They have the best doggone deal going right now. So, you know, I'm just saying all of that to say that Mass Effect was worth the money so far. I have thoroughly enjoyed it and have had a great time with it. It's been a good run. I mean, notably, it's only been not even 5 hours worth, but I've been having a good time so far. But outside of Mass Effect, brother and sisters out there, you game players, I have been, that's been about it. I haven't really been into anything else. And, yeah, man. So with that being said, man, get out there. Check out Mass Effect. Red box it, rent it. I don't know. I think it's worth a shot, especially if you are a Mass Effect fan. Don't believe all of the negative press that it's been getting. Go out there and check it out for yourself. That's what you should do. That's my opinion. I think you should do it. But make sure that, you check it out for yourself. Because sometimes the media, one person finds one thing wrong with a thing, and all of a sudden, man, everybody dog piles on it, and all of a sudden it's garbage. The game is not garbage. It's not trash effect like some people have been saying. It's a good game so far. So don't believe the media and all of those outlets. Try it for yourself and make your own decision. But anyway, outside of that, guys, let's go ahead, man, and let's get into what we all come here for. And that is for the gaming news, my friends, that went down. Starting out with, man, listen to this. Now, we're all aware of the upcoming DLC for Uncharted 4, right? That'll star Chloe and Nadine, who you just can't beat in the game. Shout out to her. But now it has already been hints thrown around about the DLC's length. Now, it was said that the DLC will be will be longer than The Last of Us's DLC, but will not be as long as Uncharted 4. Also, according to the director, Mr. Kurt, he says, and I quote, "We're not going to touch on Nathan Drake in this at all." So, I mean, this is a very, this is very loaded because, I mean, this is a long span. Now, I played The Last of Us DLC. It was roughly, man, maybe about 2 hours long, hour and a half, depending on how many times you died, of course. It was an okay length. It was definitely not that long, but it is kind of reassuring to know that it's going to be over 2 hours. That's about how long it took for me to beat The Last of Us's DLC. I don't even think I should be saying us's. That just don't sound, that's just poor grammar. The Last of Us DLC. But that's such an in-between line that you just don't know how long it could be. I mean, Uncharted 4, I think I beat that in around, 13, maybe 14 hours. I mean, it took me a while to beat Uncharted 4. So you're talking about anything from over 2 hours to, for me, 14 hours. Now, every game player is different, so your length is going to vary depending on your skill set and, what the difficulty is and all of that stuff. But the thing I do like is that, hey, at least it's coming and it looks amazing. Hopefully, I would really hope that, just make it 5 hours, okay? 3 to 5 hours. I think that's a good length. Maybe they'll do that. And also on the backside of this, Nathan Drake will not be involved in this game at all. Nathan Drake is probably off doing what he does, having a good time and getting a back rub. I don't know. But either way, this game is coming out, this DLC is coming out very soon. And I'm hoping, man, I'm really hoping that if we don't hear anything about this, at least I'm hoping Sony will show it off at E3. It would be great to see some gameplay, some more gameplay, because the game looks amazing. Oh my gosh. Really looking forward to this one, folks. I can't wait. Moving on into some Ubisoft. That's right, some Ubisoft news. Now, even though there has been no official word from Ubisoft itself, it does look like there's a chance that Assassin's Creed Empire could hit store shelves this October, according to a Swiss gaming retailer, World of Games. That is their name. The retailer is called World of Games. Now, even though the game has this listing, it could also be a placeholder date, so it's not official. But for right now, it looks like that it's a possibility that this game will be coming out in October, which I don't think is too far-fetched. Because when you think about it, Assassin's Creed usually it drops in the fall, right before that holiday rush. It's out there. And you know what? I'm glad that Ubisoft took a year off. Actually a little more than a year they took off, because Syndicate came out, in 2015? It's 2017 now. They took that time out, and I'm hoping that they will make a great Assassin's Creed game. The title that they're using, Empire, it sounds very interesting because it was talks about this game actually going back to Egypt. Now, if you guys have any idea of what Ubisoft has done and made, you guys know that they had the Prince of Persia franchise that we haven't seen in quite some time. I've been really hoping for a Prince of Persia game. The mechanics that the prince would move, with, and walking and running over the walls and all this traversal. I mean, of course, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed now, is they took some hints from that game and made Assassin's Creed, but I'm hoping that it could at least go back to those roots of what Prince of Persia was, and maybe make it in an Egypt setting. You're climbing over different pyramids, and you're in the sand and all kind of stuff, and you gotta walk through the sand and all. You see your tracks being left behind, and having to hide behind stuff. And hey, maybe you get so hot you gotta get water. I mean, they could add a lot into this thing, man. If they do it right, they could really bring Assassin's Creed to a very positive place. Even though I heard Syndicate, they did a good job. They did some really good things with that game, but I'm really looking forward to the Egypt setting. I'm hoping it's there, man. So many possibilities. Could you imagine having to go to King Tut's, his gravesite? Oh, I mean, just all kinds of stuff, man. Hey, I don't know, maybe I'm going too far, but I just think that this would be amazing if they could use that setting to their advantage. So many things could happen. Man, oh man. Moving on from that, I hope this is true. I hope Ubisoft does show this off at E3, because, man, listen up, man. Listen. E3 is not that far off, man. We're talking June 11th. We're about to be in April. Okay? It's not far, man, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait until it happens. Moving on to the next story. Now, in more rumored news, it looks like a sequel to The Evil Within could be in the works. Now, this is according to a job listing that was posted to NeoGAF. Now, the job is described roles related to translation and quality assurance for a sequel to Psycho Break, which was the name for the Japanese release title. Now, going into more detail about the job description, it looks like the game is allegedly being developed for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, but at this time, nothing has been officially announced. So I know that, this game, maybe not everybody, but this game, The Evil Within, it was one of those early generation titles. I believe this came out, man, very early into the generation. I mean, we're still pretty early on right now. We're only going on year 4 this year. Now, people, they had seemed to have some gripes with the game. It wasn't quite what they were hoping for it to be. They said that it could have used a little more polish with the gameplay mechanics and things of that nature. But overall, I believe Bethesda actually, produced it. They did not develop it, but they were the publisher of the game. And, people said that it wasn't a bad game, but it just needed a couple more things to really make it that game to go to. So hopefully the sequel is going to happen. I know there have been some fans out there that are fans of this, it's not a franchise yet, but of this title. So maybe they're going to get another shot. And this time, maybe, just maybe, they'll knock it out the park. But I guess we'll have to stay tuned and see how this story unfolds. Now, moving on into the next story. Now, in an upcoming patch, Dark Souls 3 will be getting support for the PlayStation 4 Pro with patch number 1.11. Now, that will enable the game to have an increased frame rate. Now, this patch will go live on March 24th, which, hey, it is live right now. So for any of you guys that might not have played it, go back and see how you feel about it, especially if you have a PlayStation Pro. You know, it actually released March 24th, which will be right on time for the add-on for the game entitled Ringed City. So for any of you guys out there, I'm going to tell you, man, Dark Souls, I'm not going to touch it, brother. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. But from what I've heard, the game it's definitely suffered from the frame rate, where people will say it just doesn't have that smooth frame rate that it should have. And it's very frustrating. It's like it misses a tick, and it's like you're swinging for the enemy and it pauses. It's just not fluent. So with this patch, and if you have a PlayStation 4 Pro, you will definitely, or at least hopefully, be able to get something out of this, and it'll make the frame rate a little better for you. So this is good to hear. The PlayStation 4 Pro is being put, to good use, hopefully with this patch, and with people who are big fans of this game. At least bare minimum, you'll be getting this patch to help the game with its frame rate. Moving on to the next story now, according to Charlie, that's right, it's called CharlieIntel.com. The next Call of Duty will be titled World War II, and the developer behind this Call of Duty is Sledgehammer Games. Now, once again, nothing has officially been announced by Activision, but it is being based off of concept art. That's where people are getting the thought process that this could be what it's gonna be. So for me, Call of Duty going back to World War II, see, this is the problem that I have, man. I think, this is my opinion. You guys might not agree with it, but I don't want to go back. I think that was done enough. And this is Activision doing what doggone EA did. They're going to try to ride those coattails because they went back to World War I. Everybody ate it up. It was the greatest thing ever done. And keep in mind, all unbiases to the side. Yeah, the game did excellent. It was a great game from what I heard. I didn't get hands-on time with it, so I can't speak personally about it, but I think that this is just something that they're doing just to get a reaction. Okay, they did World War I. Guess what? We're going to do World War II. We're going to go back there. Since you guys want boots on the ground, this is what we're going to do. Now, my thing is this, man. Game players are very fickle. They're a fickle bunch. Case in point, man, I was talking to Jeremy earlier today. Shout out to that brother. And I was telling him that you guys remember when everybody was all pumped up about Battletoads and saying Microsoft was going to bring them back out. They were going to be great. And then it was talks about Killer Instinct. Now, Killer Instinct did become true. That was something that happened. Killer Instinct came out, and what has it really done? It has done nothing. Everybody still believes Microsoft doesn't have exclusives. Microsoft doesn't have games. They don't listen to their consumer base, even though people were yelling from the rooftops, this is what we want. We want Killer Instinct. Oh my gosh, I will buy it. I will play it. It's going to be great. It's a dream come true. And it comes out and it does no type of numbers whatsoever. So to me, that just shows, that's just one instance. The game players say they want one thing, then they get it, and they're like, I really didn't want that. It didn't turn out like I thought it was going to be. I'm moving on to the next thing. After they've made such a big deal about this is a make or break thing, I want this in the game, and they give it to you, and you just walk away like, that's okay. Nah, I'll pass. Come on, man. So that's how I feel about this Call of Duty going back to World War II. People say that they want it, but do people really want it? Are people really going to support it? You know what I mean? Come on. I don't know. I think they should have just stuck to what they were doing. I like the future stuff. I understand you got to switch up the format, but my thing is, people are going to find a negative in this too. They're going to say, oh, just like I just said, they're copying EA. World War I, now they're going to do World War II. People are going to find a reason to hate. And that's the problem. People hate for just hate's sake. You can go out there, you can give a person exactly what they want. And they say, yeah, man, that's the game, but I don't like the character. Her face is off, or the uniform they're wearing isn't the right color. The color just isn't pleasing enough to my eye. People just find the dumbest stuff to complain about with video games, man. What happened, man? What happened to the culture? What happened to the culture where we're in this thing just to have fun? When did we have to start bonding with characters and really, really feeling just such an emotional connection to the characters? Now, I understand that everybody likes to get that feeling, where they feel like, man, this character, I'm really in their corner. I really feel for him, this, that, and the third. But some people put too much emphasis on it. And then taking away points and getting upset about it, making threats on people's lives, talking about they're going to rape somebody because they messed up the game. Give me a freaking break, man. It's a freaking video game. Everybody should be trying to have fun with the game. God, dog, people just need to calm the heck down. And I understand that they're idle threats. More than likely, they're not gonna do what they say. But come on, ease off some. Jeez. Anyway, this game is supposed to be set back then. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but we'll see. We'll see if game players actually support it, if it does happen. Moving on to the next story, god dog it. Now, for PC players, a game that was released in 1998, it's getting a remastered version. Now, do you guys have any idea what this game is? Well, my friends, clear my throat like Dougie Fresh. It's StarCraft. Now, the game will be updated for 4K UHD resolution. It will also include the original soundtrack and dialogue, which will be re-recorded and rejuvenated, as well as revamped briefings between missions. Now, as far as the graphical visual update, you will be able to zoom out for a battle cruiser's view of the battle, or zoom in to see the veins of a mutalisk's wings. Now, this is supposed to be released this summer for PC and Mac. So any of you PC guys that are still into StarCraft, that have been wanting to get that remastered, to get your feedback wet at the original, they changed up the RTS game. It was doggone amazing. It was something else. This is it right here, man. Summertime, PC and Mac, you guys get ready to re-enter the daggone game that's known as StarCraft. Moving on, now the games with gold line up this month, or at least coming up in April. It's an interesting lineup, man. I mean, the game actually made it in here that people have been asking about for quite a while now. So for you guys that are members of the Games with Gold or Xbox Live, you guys can expect to get Rise. My goodness, Rise, Son of Rome, has come home to the Xbox Games with Gold. You can expect to get this game from April 1st until the 30th. And also the other game that's going to be on the Xbox One side is The Walking Dead. I believe it's Season 2. You'll be able to get that from April 16th until May 16th. So you have a long time to get that once that's up. Now, for people who are owners of the Xbox 360, you'll be able to get Darksiders from April 1st until the 15th. And then from that point on, from April 16th to the 30th, you'll be able to download Assassin's Creed Revelations. I tell you, man, I'm very, very happy that Microsoft put Rise in there, because another game people trashed, Rise, Son of Rome, I played it. I beat it. The length, oh man, it was not a long game. God dog, it was like 5 hours. I think I beat that game literally in like between 5 and 6 hours. It was short, but the combat also, it was a little stiff. It didn't have the best gameplay. But the thing I looked at as Rise as is it was a beginning. It was something that, it was one of those games that could be a very good franchise if they revisited the game and worked on some things, tweaked out some of the mechanics, made the story a little better. The story wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad story. It was interesting, but they needed to tweak some things in my opinion. So I never thought it was a bad game. I just thought that it just didn't have the polish that it needed to have, which would be why you would want a sequel. Overall, I'm really hoping that people who have not played Rise Son of Rome, who may be brand new Xbox One owners, will give this game a chance, and you'll see it has potential. No, it didn't set the world on fire. It should not have set the world on fire, but it has potential. Graphically, it's still a great game to look at. I mean, it still holds up going on 4 years later. It holds, so I think anybody out there that has been on the fence about Rise, give this a shot, and maybe, just maybe, Microsoft is doing this because they may possibly be toying around with the idea of making a sequel, which who knows if it's going to happen or not. Nobody knows for sure, but it would be awesome to see a sequel to this game, which is somewhat likened to, it's nowhere near on the scale. Not even close. But it could be there. He could be their Kratos to a certain extent. I know some of y'all might have just said, oh, come on. I'm telling you, man, he's not Kratos. I get it. Kratos is incredible. Okay, but they need that kind of guy. They need that mascot. They need that kind of IP on their console. So hopefully they're going to explore this a little bit more. Hopefully this is just to get people's attention, get them into the game and possibly the lore of it, and ask for a sequel, because I think it does deserve it. Moving on into some Nintendo news. Now, Nintendo, Nintendo, I'm going to tell you, man, they've been on fire a little bit lately. They have been flamed up a little bit, selling 1.5 mil. Woo, man, Nintendo been flaming on y'all brothers. But Nintendo is going to ramp up manufacturing of the Nintendo Switch from 8 million, right? 8 million. To 16 million units by the end of their fiscal year due to the high demand of the console. Now, I was reading earlier today, y'all, which is some really spectacular news, man. Oh man. I'm gonna tell you, the president, the new president of Nintendo, his name is escaping me at the moment. He actually said that, and of course it's his job, okay? It could be PR talk. It might be true. But he's saying that the demand for the Switch has been at an all-time high. Now, I know what y'all are saying. Keon, the doggone system just came out. It just came out of this month. Yeah, I know that. But the thing is that the Nintendo product, the Switch, it's selling. That's all that matters. It's selling, man. And we know that Nintendo, I still got a gripe with them guys, man, because they still have not made enough of those Nintendo minis, brother. I'm really mad about that. Fisa, I think he lied to us, because he said they were going to make some more, and I keep going to the store and I can't find one. But at least this time, Nintendo is looking at the demand, and they're seeing that it is a demand. People want this console. They want it. So they're doubling up on their manufacturing. And that is awesome, because for so many not so many generations, but the Wii generation. And I even found out from Jeremy, I hadn't been following Nintendo like that, so I hadn't really been trying to get any of their products. But I heard from Jeremy the Wii U had shortages as well in the beginning. So I think that Nintendo could possibly be learning that if it's a demand for the product, why make the consumer wait? Because they get frustrated and they move on. So Nintendo doing this move, I think this is great. I think that it's going to continue to sell. And at the end of the year, that's when the big games will be coming out. That's possibly when I'll get one, towards the end. Right now, I know Zelda's setting everybody on fire. It's amazing, and people are just so proud of the production of the game. I know, but I'm not a Zelda fan. It's a game that I would get. I would get it to try it out. It'd be the first Zelda I tried out since the Super Nintendo, whatever version that was. It'll be the first one I've tried, but I'm just happy to know that Nintendo is really selling and they're going to make more of these now. Hopefully it's not a bluff like they said about the Nintendo Mini, because I'm still hot about that. I know y'all saying, move on, Keon, move on. Man, brother, I can't. Okay, I wanted that darn thing, and they let me down, but hopefully they'll make sure that they don't let people down who want the daggone Nintendo Switch. Moving on, god dog it, Nintendo, I'm rooting for you, man. According to a leaked poster, man, you know what, this is old. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, brother, it's true. Today, actually, Activision came out and they said that Destiny 2 is real. It's gonna be coming out, and I believe that in the was it a poster, I believe, from an Italian retail. Man, I'm gonna tell you, brother, these countries, brother, they have no chill on letting dates go of games that are supposed to not have a date on them officially. They just letting them fly. But this Italian retailer, they were talking about that they saw a release date of September 8th that was on a poster, and they couldn't confirm whether it was true or not. But today, they actually came out, Activision, or if you want to say Bungie, they came out and talked about it and said, yes, Destiny 2 will be available this fall. Is coming out. Now also, it was two other things. They were saying, it's been rumors that it's coming to PC. They did not comment on that. Been no word on that. But also the other thing is that they were saying there was going to be a beta that was going to be released for the PlayStation 4 first. It has not been confirmed whether or not that is true either. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure E3 is going to be slammed out this year, man. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But either way, Destiny 2 will be arriving this year. Moving on into some PlayStation news. Now, Sony is in the giving mood. Oh, yes. Oh, they're feeling so cheerful. Now, so much so that they are emailing out golden ticket vouchers that are worth $100 in PSN currency. Now, there isn't any details as to how you can boost your chances of getting one, but this is the thing that let me down, brother, because I'm guilty of not letting them do this. In order to receive this golden $100 ticket in PSN currency, you have to have agreed to receive promotional emails from Sony. Now, if you were one of the fortunate ones to get the voucher, you have until the end of March to spend it. I was hurt, brother, because when they asked me that I want to, have any promotional emails from Sony, I said, no, I don't want it. But god dang, $100 golden ticket. So I bet a bunch of y'all turned that promotional joint off. So, man, the chances of people who said, hey, yeah, I'll get your promotional, your promotions and all. Man, they sitting real pretty right now. They never said how many were given out, how frequently they would be given out. But man, it was a NeoGaf post that showed guy got a golden ticket. This isn't the first time either, because I believe the first time I had heard about it, it was around Christmas, around the holidays sometime. They were giving out these vouchers, and I'm like, daggone, that's dope. But now that I know that you got to turn on the promotional emails to be able to get them from Sony, I just, I might just have to try just to see what happens. But either way, if you were one of the lucky winners, congratulations, man. I'm happy for you. You got the Charlie Willy Wonka Sony ticket golden joint. Congratulations, God dog. They had a good sale too. Over the weekend, man, they had sleeping dogs for like $9, man. Good grief. They were doing good. But moving on anyway to the next story. This is a GameStop story. Man, it's not a fun story at all. Kind of sad. GameStop will be closing down around 150 of its stores. Now, these closings will target non-productive stores, of course, Now, it's been reported that during the holiday season, GameStop took a beating closing out 2016. Now, the company's earning release showed new software sales were down by 19.3% in the fourth quarter, which wrapped up January 28th. Now, new hardware sales were down by 29.1%. Now, you may be saying, why is this the case? What is happening? People think games, they think GameStop. What's happening? Well, GameStop said it was hurt by aggressive console promotions by other retailers on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Now, you might be saying, well, who the heck are these retailers? Y'all know who they are. The company said Amazon and big box retailers like Walmart, Best Buy, Toys R Us, and Target are posing an increasing threat to GameStop's sales position. They also blamed weak sales of certain AAA titles for the drop in software sales. And at the meeting, they never said what those particular AAA games were that dropped off. But they did once again say that the AAA titles for software sales were down. I'm telling you, man, this is the thing. GameStop, I have nothing against GameStop. First off, I'm sad that 150 stores are closing down. That means that, however many people are employed at a store are going to have to get another job, or hopefully they will move them to another store. This is sad news. I understand that some people have a gripe against GameStop and the circle of life and, the things, some of the seedy practices that they've shown. Some people just don't like GameStop and they talk trash about them. But me, I say, if you don't like something, don't support it. Go somewhere else, which is why I go to Best Buy. And I'm telling you, right here in this article I found, the proof is in the pudding. Those aggressive sales, GameStop doesn't want to do that. They want all of the money, and business is business. You're in business to get money. You want to make sure that your business is fine when it comes to the money. I get it, but sometimes when your competition, like they said, they took a beating by these stores. Walmart, they just ain't gonna lose, brother. Amazon, they're not gonna lose. And with Best Buy, with that Gamers Unlocked joint, I'm telling you, they had to take a beating. Target, I don't know about Target too tough. I can't shop at Target because that stuff is pretty high at times. So I'm a Walmart guy. But I'm telling you, they have to find new models because these guys are really eating into their profits. And the difference between GameStop and these retailers are they sell other things. They're not just into the gaming space. They're selling TVs, they're selling microwaves, they're selling stoves, they're selling bikes, they're selling toys, they're selling clothes, they're selling groceries in some of these stores. So it's going to be hard for a place that, even though GameStop has tried to branch out, they got a phone some kind of phone deal with someone, and they're selling backpacks and they're selling toys and they're selling all kind of stuff. I went into a GameStop, man. Oh gosh, what was it, about a month ago? Just to look to see what their prices were looking like. They didn't change, brother. Unfortunately, they was still the same. They weren't giving any real deals. So, I just looked in there and it's so much stuff. I'm like, God darn, they got tablets, they got phones, they got, like I said, they got toys and all kind of stuff. So GameStop is really trying to hold on and doing the best they can, to make sure that at least some of their stuff will survive. But I'm telling you also, not just these retailers giving them a hard time. I know that sales of digital games are going up every year. People are going and, just jumping over to the digital side more and more. These younger G's coming up, I call them G's because they're gamers, them coming up, they only want to download. They don't care about getting a physical copy because that's not the era that they really come from. These 12, 13, 14-year-olds, it's like, hey, I'd rather download it. I don't need to go to the store and get it, versus my generation, we're used to the physicals. But even then, I'ma tell you, I even break when some games just go on sale and it's like, man, that's $30. And I know it's $60 at the store. Shoot, Best Buy can't beat the price. I'm going to go ahead and get it digitally. So it's one of those things where, maybe I don't hope for it because people's jobs are on the line, their livelihood, and I hate to see anyone lose their job. That's the last thing I want to see happen. But if this trend continues, GameStop is going to end up being like Blockbuster Video or Hollywood Video. The video stores that were huge back in the 80s and in the 90s. You could find a video store everywhere. Errol's Video. They were just booming. But it seems like GameStop could possibly be coming to the end of the road. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen 3 years from now. I don't think it'll happen 5 years from now. But it does seem like they are starting to slow up because 150 stores being closed. I believe they said they have 7,000 in total. 150. That's a lot of stores, man. So hopefully the people that are affected by this, hopefully they'll be able to bounce back from this, be moved to another store or even find another possible career that they could take on from this point. But moving on to the next story. Oh, man. Let me see. Okay. Oh, man. I had to catch my breath. All right. It looks like Sony could be making an even thinner version of the PlayStation 4, according to a Taiwanese newspaper, Digitimes. I bet y'all think I can say that, did you? Taiwanese. That's right, brother. Yeah. It looks like, now, this was mentioned offhandedly after the article was talking about Nintendo's year one sales forecast for the Switch. Now, it's unclear if the slim model will pack any extra bells and whistles or even if it's true. Nobody knows for sure. But my guess, if you want my guess, it does, to me, it would make sense for them to actually do it for the Pro model. I'm going to tell you, as an original PlayStation 4 owner, that is a slim console. I have it right next to my Xbox One. It is much, much, much smaller. It's thinner. The width is very short. The length, it's small. I don't know how Sony is going to make a console even smaller. The PlayStation 4 is very sleek. So for them to actually be talking about doing another version, another thin version, it only makes sense for them to be able to do it with the PlayStation 4 Pro. I know people were joking about it, like saying it looked like a Big Mac, with the 3 tiers on it and all, as opposed to the, PlayStation 4 being a lot smaller. But like I said, it's not anything that's been officially said by Sony, but it's basically according to this Taiwanese newspaper called DigiTimes. So we'll have to see what happens. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but I truly do not think that Sony needs to do this. Sony, you are winning. I mean, you are winning hand over fist, okay? Nobody is close. Nobody's in your ballpark. Nobody's posing a threat right now. Just ride this thing out, man. Don't worry about it. People love you. You're number one. You got the great games on your platform right now. You're riding. Just keep on riding and let that other stuff go to the side, brother. Moving on, though. Now, for Neo players. Neo, god darn it. It's another darn difficult game. But you will be happy to know that in a patch version 1.06, you will now have the ability to pause the game. Yes, you can pause it. Now, what used to happen, if you're not aware of what Neo does and you're saying a pause button, wait a minute, that happened in the 80s. Yeah, I know. But what used to happen is when you were in the game's menu, the action around you would not stop. It would just keep going. So you had to go in there, do what you had to do, get back to the game. But due to the update, when you push the options button on the controller, the menu will open and the game will pause. Oh, yeah. However, this will not be the case during multiplayer gameplay. Now, for example, when you summon another player into your co-op game, for your game for co-op, it's not going to happen. But on top of that, the patch also adds new missions, numerous bug fixes, and improvements, and a number of balance tweaks. So I'm telling you, Neo saw the game, brother. Oh, gosh, brother. I mean, man, these Dark Souls games, brother, call me what you want. I just don't want to be frustrated, brother. I play games for the fun of it, man. I don't play them to bang my head on the wall and say, why me, why me, why? I just don't do it. I'm not going to play them. People have been trying to convince me, come on, Keon, it's not that bad. You just got to grind and grind and grind and grind. I'm not trying to do all that, brother. I can't. I just won't. But it's people out here who love this stuff. I will never understand why. It's like you're a sadist. I don't know, brother. You just like pain, brother, because it just hurts me. Just to see some of these playthroughs, I'm like, God, dog, this just ain't for me, man. So any of you guys out there that have Neo going through these difficult times and having these problems, hey, at least they gonna make it so you can pause the game while you're going through the menus to do your thing. God darn it. Moving on into some more PC news. Street Fighter V will be free to play to test out their new matchmaking system. Oh yeah. Now you will be able to play from March 28th until April 3rd. Now Steam users will be able to download Street Fighter V for free and will have immediate access to all characters currently available. Now, this beta will only contain online modes, so you won't have access to the game's campaign to play for free. So, man, when I saw this article, man, god dang, I said, oh man, this is incredible. They actually get to play the whole game for free. You know how many people are going to beat the game with X amount of characters in that time limit? But then when they put that at the bottom, oh no, you don't have access to the actual main campaign of the game. You just got online access. But either way, I think that's still cool, man. That's really dope. I wish they would have made it for PlayStation 4 owners to be able to have a chance to play. But for you PC guys, this is something to look out for if you've been interested in Street Fighter V and never wanted to pick it up because you were a little skeptical about it. Hey, at least you'll be able to play it for free and enjoy it. So, hey, it is what it is, brother. Moving on into the next story. Now, according to a UK retailer base website, they are reporting that Red Dead Redemption 2, oh my gosh, will release on September 26th. Now, whether or not this is true will remain a mystery until Rockstar says otherwise. And as always, it could just be a placeholder date. Man, listen, brother, I'm telling you, overseas, well, at least for me, I live in the States. Overseas, man, they dry snitching, brother. They just dropping all kind of hits as to when these games are coming out, man. But Red Dead Redemption, a lot of people believe, well, Red Dead Redemption 2, a lot of people believe that that's going to be delayed until next year. I don't want it to. I really want to get into it this year. I'm hoping that, you know, this base website, them over in the UK, that this September 26th date is real. I hope so, because Red Dead Redemption 2, I think it's going to be amazing. If you have not played the first one, do yourself a favor and play it. It was an excellent game. Oh my gosh, I highly enjoyed it. God dog, I never thought a Western game could play so great. You know, a game based off of the Wild West, you know. Only Wild West games I remember from back in the day were the pop-up games, kind of like Lethal Enforcers, where you took the gun and you shot blow, blow, you know, just so basic. All you're doing is aiming and shooting. But when I played this game, God dog, I mean, we all know Rockstar's style. We know that Rockstar, I mean, they just painstaking detail. Just a great game. So when they showed that 2-second clip of Red Dead Redemption 2, I was mad a little bit because I was like, dag, man, they didn't really show a lot, but it got me amped up and it did its job. So I'm hoping that this game does not get delayed into next year, but just like anybody would say that really cares about a franchise, if you have to take the extra time to make it right, go ahead and do just that, because a broken game is a broken game forever. Okay, I mean, you can patch it, whatever the case. People are going to remember that first impression, and they're going to base all of their opinions off of that. So make sure you do it right the first time. And hey, people still going to be there day one. But like I said, either way, September 26th, according to Base over in the UK, the retailer over there, they're saying that it's coming out the 26th of September. We shall see. Moving on now, for the last few E3s, Nintendo has not showed up in full swing. But Reggie Fils-Aimé spoke with Fox News and had this to say, and I quote, "E3 is always a big time for Nintendo. We look at each E3 as a unique opportunity to tell our story. And we're going to have a big E3 this year. We're going to be showcasing a variety of games. We will have experiences for consumers. We will, and also he says, consumers will be able to attend the show for the very first time. So I'm not going to tell you all of the various games and all of our little secrets for E3, but I can tell you that E3 is going to be a major opportunity for us to showcase not only Nintendo Switch, but also content coming to the 3DS." End of quote. Man, actually, this is the last story, god dog. Okay. Yeah, that was it, y'all. So Nintendo coming to E3. Oh, man. I'm hoping this is not a treehouse. Me and Jeremy were talking about this today. Shout out to him again. We were talking about this and with them coming to E3. This is awesome. I don't want the treehouse stuff like I was saying. I want Nintendo to show up. I want them to get on the stage, get on the E3 stage, man, and show us the games. That's what I want. I want Nintendo to say, hey, we got Metroid coming out this year. We got some IPs in the works, some new IPs in the works. Don't you worry. Whatever you want, we got you. Third-party support, we got you on lock. I want Nintendo to get real aggressive this year. I need this. I need Nintendo to make me a believer. That's all. Nintendo, I'm in your corner. I want you to succeed. I do not want you to go away. Not at all. You've brought a lot to the gaming table. I understand some people say stop living in the glory days of Nintendo, but you gotta pay homage to Nintendo, man. Come on. It's the GOAT. Nintendo is the GOAT, man. They've been around the longest, and they always innovate. Always. You can never take that away from Nintendo. So I want them to succeed. I want them to knock this E3 out of the park. And like I said, more importantly, I want them to be on the E3 stage. Well, guys, that is the end of the gaming news for this week. Oh, man. Oh, man. I have any water around here, brother? Nope, I didn't bring a bottle of water with me today. Okay, well, on that note, we're going to take a little break and we're going to get into this week's video game theater. Stay tuned, guys.
Artyom, wake up, Artyom. It's me, Khan. Nightmares, eh? No wonder, after all you've been through. Listen, I have incredible news. A couple of days ago, I was near the ruins of the Dark One's hive, and I saw one of them, still alive. I immediately set out to find you, as you were the one they tried to contact, before you launched the missile strike against them.
Khan, how the hell did you get here? Get out, now!
Yes, Ullman, one moment. If a Dark One has survived, it is vital that you try to speak with it, Artyom. I realize that as one of the Order now, you report to Miller. But we must persuade him to allow this mission.
Khan, I told you to get out! This is a classified base. You shouldn't even be here. I'll take you to Colonel Miller. Follow me, Artyom.
Get ready, Artyom. I'll be waiting at the exit.
Move it, you windbag.
I knew a smoker once. During the last year of his life, he had to eat, drink, and breathe through a tiny hole in his throat.
We found this place a while ago, but I still can't get used to it. Привет, Artyom! Artyom was one of the men who found these Sikhs. They gave him a ranger's badge on the spot.
Yeah, that's nice for him. I had to spend 2 years as a cadet before they accepted me into the order.
Well, anyway, where were we?
And welcome back, game players. Welcome back. Man, for any of you guys that are not familiar, but may be familiar, you guys know that we are in the last section of the podcast where I must ask you, the listener, a question. And this week's question is, this is something I think we really need to talk about and discuss. And to get your feedback, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But my question this week to you guys is this. Would less games flop if it was no used games market? That's my question. Now I read, and these are stunning numbers, by the way, no doubt about it. But in a way, not really. Horizon Zero Dawn has sold 2.7 million units so far, which people are saying is amazing. It's great. It's fantastic. And it's a new IP. Unbelievable. My thing is this, man. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Deb Downer about the situation, but you have over 50 million PlayStation 4s out here in the wild. 50 million plus. And you mean to tell me a game like Horizon Zero Dawn only sells, and I know you're saying only, but when you think about it, it only sells 2.7 million in a market that has over 50 million PlayStation 4s. Now I understand It's a new IP. It has to prove itself. I get all of that. But I think that it should have performed much better than that. And now this is the early days of the game. Granted, more buzz is going to come out. The casual market will probably jump on it as well. But my thing is, how many people are waiting to get it used? How many people are saying, okay, yeah, that's dope, that's cool and all, but I'm not buying it brand new. I want to buy it used, And the thing is that I think that more games, if it was no used games market, I understand it has its place, but we all know the publishers, the developers, they don't eat off of any of that. Any game that's sold used, they get none of the proceeds, not even 10%, not even 1% of any of that money. So my thing is, I think that if it was no used games market, I think games would sell much, much, much better. Some people say a bad game is a bad game is a bad game, and I agree with that. I agree that some IPs, they do have to prove themselves before they become that breakout success. But I do believe that more games would have much more success if it was no used games market. I pose this question because of the used games market, studios have shut down. Now, people can make the excuse that, hey, if they made good games, then maybe they wouldn't have shut down. That is a fair argument, and I'll give you that. But how many more copies of a game would actually be sold if it was no used games market? So I definitely want to get your comments. Chime in. Let me know. You can call in at 443-261-4607 to give your opinion. Or, as always, you can email the show at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Once again, before I sign off, the used games market, I understand that not everybody has the money to get brand new games. They are very expensive. This is a very expensive hobby that we're into. I understand that, the young kids, they can't get it like that. And every game that you buy, you want to be very cautious and very careful about your purchase. But at the same time, so many games go on sale now, brand new, dropping down to $40, $45.99. It's no longer like it used to be where games are just locked in at that $60 price point. So I think, me personally, games would do much better. Less studios would shut down if that was the case. I think that games would do just unbelievable. I would love to see the numbers of a game that on NPDs or, the official charts, I would love to see what a game has done unofficially, like how many used games were actually sold of this game versus the actual official NPD numbers. I'm telling you, I think it would be an astonishing difference. So that's about it for this week. As always, game players, I truly appreciate the support. Thank you guys for tuning in to another week. But don't worry though, because we'll be back at it again next week. But until then, you guys take care. And remember this, play the video games. Forget being all about one console. Let me tell you something. You should not be about one console if you're not on that console's payroll. Okay, if you don't have any money invested into these console manufacturers, why cheat yourself out of having some very, very great gaming experiences? Gaming experiences that you can't find on other platforms. I'm going to tell you, Horizon Zero Dawn, god dog, I'm so greatly happy and proud that I have a PlayStation 4, that I'm able to play this game. Or even taking it back to a couple of years ago, Ori and the Blind Forest. Man, so happy I was able to experience that. I'm looking forward to getting a Switch one day. I'm telling you, let it be about the games and not the consoles. Don't cheat yourself out of these great games out there because you want to stick to one platform. Be an adventurer. Go out there and explore other things. with these consoles. Anyway, I'm out of here. You guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.